Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and now in this video we will be understanding what is Aufbau principle. So guys, before starting with this video, I want you all 30 seconds. Now what I am going to say in these 30 seconds, please listen carefully. See guys, I have made a combined video on quantum numbers and shapes of orbital. Now why I am telling this is because in that video I have explained many concepts, literally many concepts which will be told to you all by very rare professors. So guys, if you watch that video, you will be able to solve any question regarding to structure of atom chapter, and you will be able to solve minimum 3 questions in a JEE main examination, which is equals to 12 marks. So guys, if you are getting 12 marks just by watching that one video, then I think you must surely watch that video. Now whether to watch that video or not, it is upon you. I am here just to give you all advice and just to help you. You can find the link of the video in the description box below, or you can simply click on this I button over here. Okay. Now getting back to this topic, let's understand what is Aufbau principle. Okay. So now what we have seen up till now about structure of atom is that the electrons are present in orbitals. And what is an orbital? An orbital is nothing but a 3D region in the space around the nucleus where the probability of finding an electron is maximum. Now what is the meaning of this? Orbital is nothing but a 3D region around the nucleus where the chances of finding an electron is high. So there is a high possibility that the electron is present in that region. Okay, so basically this is what an orbital means. And we have also seen that the orbital is classified into 4 types. The first one is the S subshell, the second one is P subshell, the third one is D subshell, and the fourth one is F subshell. And within these subshells there are orbitals. So S subshell contains of only one orbital, the P subshell contains of 3 orbitals, the D subshell contains of 5 orbitals, and the F subshell contains of 7 orbitals, which we don't have to study because it is not in your portion. Okay, so guys, in that video of quantum numbers and shapes of orbitals, I have explained all this in deep. That's why I'm telling you all that watch that video. Okay, so now basically keep this in mind that there are 4 types of subshells: S subshell, P subshell, D subshell, and F subshell. And within this subshell, there are different orbitals. Okay, now let's move ahead. See now, whatever I am going to tell you all must know this and you must remember this till the end of this video. Okay, so now if the value of L, and what is L? L is nothing but your azimuthal quantum number. So if the value of L is 0, it corresponds to S subshell. If the value of L is 1, it corresponds to P subshell. If the value of L is 2, it corresponds to your D subshell. And if the value of L is 3, it corresponds to F subshell. Okay, so these are the values of L, and what is L? L is nothing but azimuthal quantum number. So you need to keep this thing in mind. Now further on moving ahead, see each subshell, that is your S subshell, P subshell, D subshell, F subshell, contains maximum of 2 into 2 L. This is L, guys, don't take it as 1. This is L plus 1 electrons, where this L is nothing but azimuthal quantum number. So now what is the use of this formula? Let us understand. Suppose you want to find out the maximum number of electrons present in the S subshell. So what you will do is that you will substitute the value of L as 0, because value of L is equal to 0 corresponds to S subshell. So when you substitute the value of L as 0, you get that S subshell will contain 2 electrons. Similarly, if you want to find out how many maximum number of electrons will be present in the P subshell, what you will do, you will substitute the value of L as nothing but 1. So after substituting the value of L as 1, you get that the P subshell will contain maximum of 6 electrons. Similarly for D, you have to substitute the value of L as 2. After substituting the value, you get that D subshell will contain 10 electrons, and similarly F subshell will contain 14 electrons. So now these 4 points you need to keep in mind, that S subshell will contain 2 electrons, P subshell will contain 6 electrons, D subshell will contain maximum of 10 electrons, and F subshell will contain maximum of 14 electrons. Okay, so now moving ahead. Okay, see, what we know is that in first energy level, in first energy level there is only S subshell present. See, inside atoms there are different energy levels. So inside first energy level there is only S subshell present, and since this S subshell is present in the first energy level, therefore I have written it as 1s. Similarly, in the second energy level there are two subcells present, S and P, and since they are in the second energy level, therefore I have written them as 2s and 2p. Here if you observe carefully, in the second energy level the P subcell gets added. Initially in the first energy level there was no P subcell. In the second energy level the P subcell gets added. Similarly, in the third energy level there is S, P and D subshell. Now, since this S, P and D are present in the third energy level, therefore I have written them as 3S, 3P and 3D. Okay. And now here one thing you need to observe is that here the D subshell is getting added. Now further on, moving ahead, in the fourth energy level there are four subshells, S, P, D and F. Here the F subshell is getting added, and since they all are present in the fourth energy level, therefore I written them as 4S, 4P, 4D and 4F. In the fifth energy level there are 5S, 5P, 5D and 5F. There is no D any other subshell discovered till yet. There is only S, P, D and F subshell discovered up to now. And similarly, in the sixth energy level there is 6S, 6P, 6D and 6F. Okay, so now why there is a need of Aufbau principle? The problem comes here. See, as we all know that a carbon has 6 electrons. Now the question is that in which subshell will the 6 electrons will be present? These 6 electrons will be present in which subshell? 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, 3d. In which subshell will these 6 electrons will be present? That is the question in front of us. Therefore, there is a need of an Aufbau principle. Now, what is this Aufbau principle? First of all, let us understand the meaning of this Aufbau principle. The Aufbau states nothing but building up. The meaning of Aufbau is nothing but building up. It is a German word, and Aufbau is not a name of any scientist. Okay, so don't consider this as a name of any scientist. This is a meaning. Aufbau has a meaning which is building up. So basically, Aufbau principle states us 2 points, and on the basis of these 2 points, we will judge that electron will go into which subshell. Okay, so let's understand the first point. The electrons will first fill the subshells having lower energy. Now, what is the meaning of this? See, the electrons will first go into the 1s subshell, then they will go into the 2s subshell. Why? Because the 1s subshell has less energy than 2s. So when you're comparing 1s subshell and 2s subshell, the electrons will first go into the 1s subshell and then they will go into the 2s subshell. Now this is just an example that I consider. Okay, but when you consider all of these subshells, how will you get to know which subshell has more energy and which subshell has less energy? So for finding out that, there is one formula, that subshells are filled in increasing value of n plus L. Now what is the meaning of this? Suppose the n plus L value is less, the subshell is going to have less energy. Now what is the meaning of this? We will understand with the help of an example. Okay. See, for example, if you consider 3D and 4S. Okay, so you are considering 3D and 4s. So this 3D is present in the third energy level and this 4s is present in the fourth energy level. So now first of all let's understand 3D. So for 3D, since it is present in the third energy level, therefore the principal quantum number, which is nothing but n, will obviously be equal to 3. And since this is a D subshell, and as we all know that for D the value of L is 2, which I have shown you all earlier over here. See, for D the value of L is 2. So I hope you all have remembering this. Okay. Okay. So basically what we have seen is that the value of n is 3 for 3D and the value of L is 2 for 3D. Now when you add this n plus L, what you are going to get, n plus L is nothing but 3 plus 2, which is equals to 5. And now if you consider 4s, so for 4s, the value of n is going to be 4 and the value of L is going to be 0. Why n is 4? Because it is in the fourth energy level, and L is equal to 0 because the value of L is equal to 0 corresponds to the S subshell. Okay, so now when you add n plus L, what are you going to get? N plus L is going to give you 4. Now here, if you observe that the summation of n plus L is equals to 5 for 3D and n plus L is equals to 4 for 4s. Now since the n plus L value of 4s is less, therefore 4s has less energy as compared to 3D. So therefore the electrons will first fill the 4s and then they will fill the 3D. So since the n plus L value of 4s is less, therefore 4s is going to fill first and 4s has less energy as compared to 3D. So this is our first principal point, that the electrons will first fill the subshells having lower energy. So since the n plus L value of 4s is less, therefore 4s has less energy and 3D has more energy. So electrons will first fill 4s and then they will fill 3D. Okay. Now what if the n plus L value is same? For example, let's consider 3D and 4p. So for 3D, your n is going to be 3 and D corresponds to L is equals to 2. Now when you add n plus L, you are going to get of course 5. And if you consider 4p, the value of n will be equals to 4 and the value of L is equals to 1 because P subshell corresponds to L is equals to 1 as mentioned earlier in the table. Now if you add here n plus L, you are going to get n plus L is equals to 4 plus 1, which is nothing but equals to simply 5. Now if you see over here, for 3D and for 4p, n plus L values are same. So since their n plus L values are same, so how can you judge which has a greater energy and which has a less energy? So now in this case, you have to take, if both the subshells have same n plus L values, then the electrons will first fill the subshell having lower value of n. And who is having a lower value of n? Here 3D is having a lower value of n. So since the 3D has lower value of n, therefore 3D has less energy and 4p has more energy. And in this scenario, the electrons will first fill 3D and then they will fill 4p. Now moving ahead, here 3D will be filled first. Okay, so now we have basically understood how the electrons will get filled into the subshells. Now considering all these points which are studied under Aufbau principle, one diagram was given to us by Aufbau. Let us understand this diagram. Now what is the meaning of this diagram? See, in this diagram, there are certain diagonals drawn. Now, what is the use of these diagonals? See, if you consider the first diagonal consists of only one subshell, that is 1s, which means that the 1s subshell has the least energy. So this 1s is going to have least energy. Then you move on to the second diagonal. In the second diagonal, there is only again one subshell, which is nothing but 2s. So after 1s, 2s is going to have less energy. So when you compare 1s and 2s, of course 1s is going to have the least energy. After that, 2s has some more energy. Now moving ahead to the third diagonal. So in the third diagonal, there are two subcells, 2p and 3s. So here we have to move from up to down. See, in the direction of the arrow. So here 2p will have less energy than 3s. So after 1s, 2s and 2p, there is a time for 3s. So now with the help of this, so can I conclude that 1s has less energy than 2s and 2s has less energy than 2p. So after 2s comes the 2p and after 2p comes 3s. So 3s has greater energy than 2p. So after 3s, you again move on to the fourth diagonal. In the fourth diagonal, there is 3p and 4s. So after 3s, 3p will come, and after 3p, 4s will come. So you can see the order over here, that the first least energy is present in the 1s. Then after that comes the 2s. After that comes 2p. After 2p comes 3s, and after 3p comes 4s. Now you move to the fifth diagonal. After 4s comes 3d. After 3d comes 4p. After 4p comes 5s, and so on. So here is the list of energy difference in the subshell. So can I say over here that 1s has least energy and 5d has the greatest energy? Okay. See, according to what cells I have mentioned in this statement, 1s has the least energy and 5d has the most energy. And after 5d, see, if you see over here, 6p has even greater energy than 5d. Am I right? So I just written and so on, because this will go up to infinity. Okay. So now on the basis of this, can I comment, since 1s has the least energy, therefore the electrons will first fill up 1s, and after 1s is filled up completely, the electrons will fill up 2s, and after 2s is filled up completely, still there are electrons remaining, then they will fill up 2p. For example, let's move ahead to my book, in which I will be able to explain you all in a better manner over there. Okay. So guys, if you have liked this video, then please do not forget to check out my channel, where I have uploaded chemistry and physics videos. They might be really helpful for you all. And guys, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel for more such interesting videos ahead. Okay, so guys, thanks for watching this videos. So hey guys, we are now on my book, and where I have drawn the similar diagram. Now let us understand a question over here which tells us to write the electronic configuration for carbon. So basically the first thing that we must know is that the carbon has 6 electrons. Am I right? So now, according to our energy level diagram, see, 1s has the least energy. Am I right? 1s has the least energy. So the electrons will first fill the 1s. And as mentioned earlier, in s or s subshell, there can be maximum 2 electrons. So in 1s, only 2 electrons can be accommodated. Now out of these 6 electrons, 4 electrons are still remaining. So now let us move ahead to the next energy subshell. So after 1s comes the 2s. Am I right? The second arrow, second diagonal. Okay. So after 1s, 2s has the least energy. So you will write somewhat like this, 2s, and again this 2s can only accommodate 2 electrons. So after the 4 electrons remaining, the 2s will take the next 2 electrons. Now still there are 2 electrons remaining. So after 2s comes the 2p. So after 2s, 2p has the least energy in this complete diagram. So you have to write 2p over here. Now since p can accommodate 6 electrons as we all know, but here we have only 2 electrons, so we will just write 2. So this is the electronic configuration for an carbon atom. Now let us take a little bit bigger example, that is of a sulfur. Okay, now as we all know that the sulfur contains 16 electrons. Am I right? So now let us write the electronic configuration for sulfur. So what will be the electronic configuration for sulfur? First we will consider the least energy subshell, that is nothing but your 1s. So you will obviously write 1s, and since s subshell contains a maximum of 2 electrons, therefore you have to write 2 over here. So out of those 16 electrons, 2 are taken by 1s. Now still there are 14 electrons remaining. Now where will these 14 electrons go? Now our next energy subshell is nothing but 2s, which is in the second arrow. Am I right? So the 2s is going to get filled after 1s. So again 2s, s can accommodate only 2 electrons. So out of 14 it can take only 2 electrons. So still 12 are remaining. Am I right? So out of 14, 2 are taken by 2s. So again 12 electrons are remaining. So after 2s, 2p has the least energy. Okay, we move on to the third arrow. So here 2p has the least energy. So we have to consider 2p, and we have 12 electrons to be accommodated more, but p can take only 6 electrons. So p subshell can take a maximum of 6 electrons, as I have mentioned earlier in the video. Okay, if you'll remember. So I will write 6. So out of 12 electrons, 6 are taken away by 2p. Still 6 electrons are more remaining. So where will these 6 electrons go? After 2p comes 3s. Am I right? So after 2p, the remaining 6 electrons will be present in the 3s subshell. And as we all know that s can take only 2 electrons. So out of 6 electrons, it can accommodate only 2 electrons. Still 4 are remaining. Am I right? So for next 4, we have to go again to our diagram. So after 3s comes the 3p. Okay. So after 3s, 3p has the least energy. Okay. So now after 3s, you have to write 3p. And as there are only 4 electrons remaining, although p can take 6 electrons, but you have to write 4 electrons because we have only 4 electrons remaining. Now you might be wondering that how is this diagram actually given to us? See, as I have explained earlier, this diagram is completely on the basis of n plus L rule. N plus L rule. If you see over here, after 1s, see what is the n plus L rule for 1s? 1 plus 0, which is nothing but 1. And what is the n plus rule for 2s? 2 plus 0, which is nothing but 2. Therefore, 1s has the least energy, and after 1s comes the 2s. Now, if you calculate the n plus L for 2p, the n plus L for 2p will obviously be greater than 2s. So, similarly, on that basis only they have calculated the simplified diagram given to us. Okay, and guys, I hope you all will watch that video on quantum numbers and shapes of orbital, because we waste guys many time during our 11th and 12th standard. At least we can invest some quality 53 minutes for that video if we can get 12 marks in JEE Main examination. So guys, that was the all advice that I would like to give on my side. So guys, thanks for watching this. If you have liked this video, then please do not forget to check out my channel where I have uploaded chemistry and physics videos. They might be really helpful for you all. And guys, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel for more such interesting videos ahead. Okay, so guys, thanks for watching these videos.